All right, I'm back live. Fixed. We're gonna fix a lot of stuff as we go through, but as you can see, the displays are a lot better. Tahani Reinders scored a pretty good goal. Pretty good goal. Everything updated perfectly. We can see my completed scoreboard going through. So as we talk through some stuff. We'll talk football and technology. That's how we roll here at Footy Par. It's halftime now, so yeah, some of this. Okay. At halftime, it disappears, which is actually okay because we already have the completed over here for the application of this. No, it came back. Okay. It's interesting how it did that, so we'll figure all of that out. The other thing I have to figure out is when I go live, and this might be okay, I gotta stop eating my words and finish my thoughts. That's one thing that I'm working on myself. Because I do that. I just I'll start a thought and a million other thoughts are happening. So then I just keep saying, then I keep eating that thought until I forget what that original thought was. And then now I'm just rambling like I am right now. So, okay, so let's do this. For now, we're going to bring this image to the front. And we're going to put it below here. Just in case anybody watches it. The other thing I need to figure out what's going on and fix is whenever I go live, it buffers, or it doesn't buffer. It says, let's see if I can pull this up. This is pretty good. So this is the OBS Blade thing that I'm using. Again, shout out to the guy with OBS Blade. All right, I gotta figure out where my camera movements are over here. OBS Blade. So it shows me. It shows that's showing the screen. It shows all the different scenes that I have set up. Below here, I can, if I'm like, hey, I want to hide the team scoreboard for a sec. The problem is my iPad's a little janky. See, the team scoreboard's gone. Let's bring that back. I want to hide the I just call this browser. I want to hide that other scoreboard. I can do that very quickly, just on the fly. So this is actually a really, really, really handy app. If you're trying to do some live stuff as a solo setup guy. I'm very much what you call a lone operator, a sigma male. So in case anybody finds any of this, I know people at some point are going to start asking me, how did you do this? How did you do that? So maybe as I'm setting some of this stuff up, I'll talk through that. I generated this image. I think it was with Gemini. And I told it the name, Footy Par. I gave it another reference image. Told it was about football. And generated this. What I love is I've got sunglasses on and sunglasses on top of my head. And in the most Bollywood of ways, I'm playing soccer in a white shirt, black pants, and just casual Keds or something that you would wear to I look like I could go serve tables at a restaurant after this, after I'm done with this soccer game. So cool, we have all of that. So underneath that match timeline, here's another thing. I built a lot of this, how this is all done. how we're getting all the live scores in, all of this data. How that updates is via APIs. There's some APIs that I'm using that I found that I don't really know how to describe them, but they're kind of like ESPN APIs, but not the official ESPN APIs, but kind of the official ESPN APIs. It's a little weird. I'll let you do your own research as to what I'm talking about, or, if you are enough of a nerd, you could probably do some other shit to figure out what it is. But so that's how the data updates. It updates in real time because I have a WebSocket open that on my local machine. So my machine is acting like a local server with a WebSocket that pulls for all of this data while it runs. So, I'm still figuring out the most efficient way to run that, but my machine is pretty good right now, even though I use it to do a lot of stuff. So I do have the processing power to kind of run this, so that's all good. But it's probably not the most efficient way right now, so I need to figure out how to do that. The front end components, again, so everything is JavaScript, right? Node JavaScript. And they're brought in using browser sources. And so what happens is that I have a Node server, JavaScript Node server running to serve JavaScript and other and CSS and all that stuff. And then each of these, and then that server serves these pages that you see that display the components of the scoreboards, right? And then the WebSocket I was talking about earlier is the backend that actually pulls the data to update it, to do all of that stuff. So all of the styling that you're seeing here, that's all essentially a web page, right? And then the data gets filled out by an API that makes a call to a server that has all of that data. And so some weird stuff that I have already noticed that I'm going to have to handle for, like, for example, this game's and it's different various things I have to figure out. So, like, for example, Leeds Manchester, this game is completed. It was done yesterday, full time, but it shows it's in the 65th minute, like it ended in the 65th minute. Right now, this Man City Chelsea game, full time, which it's at halftime, 42 minutes. So the time display is actually coming in from the events. I have to figure out why the event stops displaying the time at a certain time. The full time versus halftime thing is a front end JavaScript logic thing. So, like, if you're trying to do all of this stuff, and this is before I get into some of the AI tools I'm using to build all of this stuff super fast by myself. I should note that I have a lot of years as a software development architect in various technologies, but especially web-based technologies. So I kind of understand inherently how web and API and all that stuff works. So if you don't, make sure you do. Otherwise, you're going to be pretty lost no matter what AI tools you're given, because there's a lot of times where, you got to go in and edit stuff yourself, or at least understand what the code is trying to do so that you can tell it what to edit. That's the thing that people don't get about prompt engineering. And this is turning into the most Indian football podcast out there, because I'm talking about how to code while I'm talking about football. While we are waiting for halftime, I will make you a good curry and teach you how to make some good OBS overlays and browser components so that your stream. Or if it doesn't work for you, you can reach out to me if you're a football content creator, and I will offer you some of these, figure out how to run them for you. That's what I'm trying to do, is trying to maybe manage some of these as a service. But Restream kind of does a lot of this stuff, so I don't know that I necessarily want to compete with Restream or just really build this for myself. So anyway, that's the architecture behind some of these overlays and these streams that you see. Now, the other thing that I'm doing, so I do use a lot of AI coding tools, being a software architect. And what I found to work really well on this project is Windsurf. So Windsurf, and I'm now paying for, well, I'm actually on a free trial of the premium Windsurf, which will charge me on February 3rd, 30 days from now, if I don't cancel it. So let's see. I mean, it's not that expensive, $10 a month. So all right, some of the things that I want to do here. I want to start with the big stuff, really, and then I can tweak some of the minor stuff. What's the big stuff, you ask, right? Oh, yeah, and in addition to being a software architect, the other thing that's really important to understand is product management from the standpoint of how to explain features that you're looking for to the AI. And if you can follow certain standardized formats, user stories, for example, in explaining, the more descriptive you are with AI and what you're looking to do, the better it tends to do. Because and a lot of people that don't understand what AI actually is it's pattern matching. So it's trying to match patterns and spit something out. This is why it hallucinates sometimes, because it thinks it recognizes a pattern that's not really there, based on kind of some of the verbiage and all this stuff. So what I've generally found in a lot of the AI tools that I've used, and I've used quite a bit at this point, is that you want to be pretty descriptive with what you're telling it. And I'm trying to get this lens does not like focusing on me. Maybe when I'm that close. So, okay. So I am using Windsurf. So enough of all of that technical nonsense. Nobody really gives a shit about that. They give a shit about what are the cool stuff that we're going to show here. So include team plus bench below the match scoreboard. And then live table below the league scoreboard. So below here, we want the live table. Here's the thing. This match is going to come back from halftime to be active again. And it's part of the time display. And so I don't know how much space I'm going to have here, or when I go to a league that has more active matches. This whole thing should be responsive to display nicely within this component, which is all CSS. If you were watching along earlier, you probably... nobody was watching along. I don't know why the fuck I said that. But I was recording earlier, and I was kind of bemoaning how much I hate working with CSS, particularly just because it's very finicky, and I care more about the big picture shit, even though I want everything to look beautiful, and that's what you need CSS for. So I found AI to be very, very, very good at CSS, and particularly outsourcing a headache that I don't want to deal with. I think a lot of architects like me, we want the front end to look great and enforce it, but don't want to spend hours and hours and hours and hours coding an architect. Or maybe I'm just speaking for myself at this point. So, okay. So because I don't want to mess with anything down here, right now until I see what this comes back to. We're going to mess over here with this. And what I want to do here is I want to see the bench and the substitutes that we have. So let's give AI a prompt here. So we're gonna say, let me move this here so I can code better. On the display, we want to add something which shows the team formation and players on the bench. Right? So that's how it. And then what I like to do in that situation, it's not really gonna understand. It's gonna get the high level context. So I'm gonna give it an image. Here is an image of how we want this to look. We should be able to get these details from the API. And I'm going to give it an ESPN image because, again, a lot of this has a really interesting tie-in to ESPN that I'm trying to understand. So I'm going to go to Gamecast, and I'm going to go to lineups, and I'm going to take a screenshot of how the lineups are there. And I'm going to paste that image. It's just a standard, it's just a standard, like it shows the formation, shows the game information, shows the referees, Michael Oliver, because we always want to know which referee's fucking over our team in that game. There's details from the API. Please see please see an attached image of how we want that to display. Okay, look, so we're back in the second half. So you see, before I finish this prompt, so you see on this side now, it took up, let's move this, let's hide this Footy Par logo for a sec. See how it took up so much space? So now if we're trying to watch the Premier League games or the live table here, I just feel like that's probably going to take up too much space. But some days we're going to want to see that. Another option is to make this thing a little smaller, like this 47 could go in between here. This kickoff could go in between Man City and Chelsea venue, Etihad Stadium. And right now there's only one game going on in the Premier League, so it shows this one in progress as well as the scoreboard, so it kind of is repetitive, but it makes more sense when I'm watching a Liverpool game and 4 other games are going on, and you kind of get to see, oh shit, in real time, like what's happening. That's the whole goal here, right? But let's finish this this formation thing on the right side, on the left side. Okay, let's see what it does. This was probably not as specific as I could have been with this prompt, but I'm also kind of testing to see how good it does. And it runs I'm gonna have to move this to over here, especially so I can see this better and not have to look over my shoulder all the time. Keep, add formation to diagram. Keep. So what windsurf? I don't know that I should explain windsurf right now. I mean, I guess nobody's listening, so who the fuck cares? So let's refresh this. I'm gonna have to reselect the game. I do not. I do not see it. Oh. Yeah. It's pretty good. Just doesn't show any information. Okay, let me. I'm gonna have to refresh that for you guys. Oh, right. This is showing you the wrong thing. Chelsea have a chance? Yeah, they did. Neto just over. That was Neto, right? Just over. Okay. This is called the team scoreboard. Properties. Display. Refresh cache. Connected. Doesn't like that. Have to switch it. It's pretty good, right? Doesn't like that. It doesn't like that. Now it does. See, it's a little finicky. First, let's work out why nothing nothing displays in the formation or the game information, all of that stuff. So let's go here. Great, we have the display. I like to say sometimes great and thank you and all that stuff, but it's not really necessary with AI. So we have the display working. However, the data doesn't fill out properly. Windsurf is cool because it can do some crazy shit, I've noticed. So I'm going to ask it, can you check the match response from the APIs and see how we can appropriately fill out the display with the players available, etc. Match details, referee, etc. as we see it in other places. I hope I gave it the image. Yeah, I did. Okay, good. Now it's gonna run a bunch of stuff. Windsurf actually works with you, so it's a little bit more of a pair programmer, I think, than Lovable. Lovable is not bad. I've used it a lot for the Abe XP platform. AKA spent a lot of time yelling at it. Okay, keep. Made a bunch of changes. Made a bunch of changes. Well, it doesn't really show. Doesn't really show what I was expecting it to. Okay, so let me show the log and say we aren't seeing the information populate, but note how we get the venue in the league control, the league display, and also players, etc. That should help as a guide. As right now, we are still unable to see anything with the players in the lineups. I mean, we're really getting into some nice to haves territory because I'm also curious to see how this thing will display substitutions. The match timeline should display substitutions. I mean, it's too early to have had a substitution in this. Though I could probably go look at another, and this thing is getting cut off at the bottom for OBS, so I need to figure that out too, but I have 3 shells running over there. That's 1-0 Chelsea. Who's that down? Enzo. Not well. Maresca's down. Fernandez down. Not a good day if you're. Not a good week if you're an Enzo at Chelsea. Enzo Fernandez gets back up. Here's what I was saying about Chelsea earlier and Enzo Maresca. Like, their statement said, "Oh, here's a header towards goal. They pick it up." Their statement said that they're looking for a manager to get them back on track on the season. They're not that far off track for the season. You know, again, what are they? 5th in the league. If they win, they actually go to 4th because they have a plus 12 goal differential, which is actually kind of mental when you think about it, right? It's actually kind of mental that you have a plus 12 goal differential. That's why I want to bring up the table on this side down below, and because if you look at the table and the goal differential for other teams, Liverpool are right there with them, don't have that. United are right there behind them, don't have that. I think Villa are clearly above us, and they don't have that. You know what I mean? That's like Arsenal and like Tottenham levels of goal differential. Tottenham sometimes will have a crazy goal differential, but be like 17th. Holland cuts in, tries to take a shot. Holland came a long way directly. See, that's what I was bemoaning for Liverpool earlier, was the directness of the play. Like Holland lets the ball run across him directly for a long time, and then okay, back to debugging. He'll let the ball run across him and move forward instead of trying to go like side to side or here comes City again. I was looking at the ESPN API data. Oh, that's to Bernardo Silva. No, throws his hands up in the air. I think that is Silva. I don't think that was a penalty. That was just I let the ball get away from me, and I felt a push in the back, so I'm going to throw my hands up in the air and hope. Still throwing his hands up in the air. You get other, you do it, and then you get other teammates to try to advocate and throw their hands up in the air on your behalf. Okay, so we're from the API. We're not getting the starting 11s. Looks like we aren't getting this starting 11s from ESPN API. How can we comb that API and figure out the right data to bring in for this, as it's available somewhere, but we don't have reliable documentation found yet on it, which is not true. There is some documentation somewhere, but offside for Chelsea from the corner. There's documentation on it somewhere, but, you know, I'm lazy. I'd rather let AI do the work, especially after I'm paying for a free trial. Let's get this working before we figure out why I get blocked from streaming. Okay. Delap comes off, Pedro comes on. 61st minute. Let's see if my substitutions process that event. Oh, so what is Windsurf doing? Windsurf is still thinking. All right. Looks like I did not process that substitution. Holland with the ball with another shot. Ball runs out for a Chelsea goal kick. Yeah, I didn't show the substitution as an event. The other thing that windsurf does that Lovable definitely does not have the ability to do is run code on your computer, which I mean is good and bad. Like if you don't know what you're doing, it can be used to inject malicious code into your computer, into your scripts, all of this stuff. So you should know what it is you're doing. Also, I'm doing this on Linux. So this allows a lot more customization, but also is not for the faint of heart. But that shouldn't matter if you know how to use windsurf APIs. Like platform shouldn't matter. I'm just using it on Linux because I don't want to pay for a lot of software for other stuff, including Microsoft. So, but yeah, windsurf runs stuff on your computer. So it's running a whole bunch of stuff to try to figure out what is available to fill out the lineups information right now. If we can get the lineups going, then we'll next work on displaying the Premier League table on the right side below the completed scorecard, or whichever table is the league that's selected. Like right now, we obviously see Premier League stuff, but we can change that to display other leagues. I'll do that in a little bit. I am kind of, this game is actually a pretty decent game. Which I mean, there's interesting storylines with Maresca being fired. 1-0 at the Etihad is still not a bad scoreline. With windsurf too, I have to make sure I don't look away too far because sometimes it gets caught up in running these long requests. Then if you don't let it run, it'll stop because it's running too long. So I gotta make sure that I'm letting it run the processes it's trying to run. Looks like it tried to run something and it's not able to because NPM's already running. No, it's trying to do something else. Now where did my surf browser go? I need to make sure. What the heck? I need to make sure I allow windsurf to keep running. Is it here? I don't know what happened. It did not fully run. Okay, that's a new one. I cannot understand yet how to bring back up my windsurf chat window. More actions. Show open editors, more actions. I'm just gonna have to do this all. Yeah, I just have to reopen the entire thing in Windsurf. See if we can load my previous chats. Oh, don't kick off a new project. Another substitution coming in. So I have to keep doing that to get the... Okay, let's take this screenshot. This page, we are not able to... form. This is the full match structure. Are we able to pull in the lineup here? Or do we need to... Chelsea, you're driving with the ball. Or do we need to... line up here? If not, please. Oh, Chelsea turn. Good stop by Don Rama, straight off his chest. I mean, not a good stop. He just big and was in the right place like usual. The place you'd expect him to be, and let it officially hit off of his chest. I mean, he's not doing anything else. So it is a good stop. Just kind of stands there. Shot got deflected too, so it could have gotten anywhere. Got deflected, came back up. Well, if not, please give me the link for documentation for the API so I can look up possibly where it is, as it is available somewhere, but I need to figure out where, and we need to call it appropriately. Oh, City are actually they're in the box. Cut back by Doku, who has it again. driving it to the box, cutting it inside, turned and took a shot. It was a good block. Okay, this windsurf is working while this match is getting exciting. And that's what I love about AI too, is I can have it work on stuff. And I mean, this is an extreme example where I get to work on something and watch soccer on the exact thing I'm working on, which is this is exactly what I want my life to be. You know, life wouldn't be too bad if I could just find a way to make money doing this, right? So just subscribe and like if you ever get to this point of me rambling. Okay, windsurf is still running. I mean, it is using the ESPN data structure and the ESPN unofficial API, official, unofficial API. So this is, I mean, this is going to be about as official as we can get. Doku, good ball up to Foden. Tried to cut it back into Holland in the middle and got cut out by Badiashile. Sorry for messing up your name. I can't see it on my lineup to work out the pronunciation, so I had to kind of guess and read it off of the back of your jersey. Badiashile. Windsurf is still pulling. Under rosters property, which is great. Okay, so it's under rosters, not comp. So, ooh, surprise! That was not a high boot. Foden, Silva cuts it in, right foot blocked. There's an offside. Okay. This is running. I'm going to go get a Pepsi. I'm going to let this keep running. We're back. Surf is still running and researching. I have a Pepsi. Chelsea get the ball. That's Neto. Don't know who that's to. Palmer, I think. That is Palmer, right? Yeah. 24 East James. Neto. Plays it to 27. So Windsurf has conversations with whichever coding model it's using. Right now it's GPT 5.1, high priority coding model. Don't know exactly. I'm not up to date on the differences of all of them and which one's like the best and all that stuff. I just, you know, I'm not a theoretical guy as much as a practical guy. So practically what works and gets the job done for me. But right now it's basically It's basically like somebody got a yellow card. That's an event that should show up. Here, it's going to take a few minutes to even. I mean, I don't think he's even brandished it to delap. Okay. Was he the only one, or did two of them get yellow cards? What is this? Oh, he shoves him into the board. That's what he got the yellow card for. Wow, this is still going. Dude, this is gonna take up like all of my requests. Just trying to do this one thing, pulling in the rosters. Should have done the table first. I also got to figure out how to brand this properly. Lots of room for advertising space, though. Yeah, I'm just gonna stop the roster thing. That's I'm gonna come back to that. And for now, let's say since we struggled with the roster population, let's hide that. Here comes Foden, trying to get it to Holland. Nope. Let's on the display for now. We can just show the scoreboard and the timeline. However, the timeline does not seem to be pulling in yellow cards or substitutions. How can we ensure that we are receiving all events for yellow cards, red cards, and substitutions on the display? Yeah, we're gonna tell it to hide that and focus on why the substitutions didn't come in or the yellow card. Okay. So let's let that come back up and then see if that'll display substitutions. Next. Oh, cards, it's still working, so. It's a weird thing. I have to do this thing where the control doesn't necessarily, like, you have to change it and then change it to another control. It's a thing that I don't want to explain right now. But let's see what happens here. I need to work this out too, like this segment brought to you by the smart lower thirds, as they're called. That'll be on the next stream, which will be Thursday, or is it Wednesday? Today's the 4th. I think it's the 7th. 5th, 6th, so that would be Wednesday. What did windsurf do? Ooh. You know, I said all this good stuff about windsurf. And now it even fucked up my display. Oh, well, that was better, I guess. I want to go back like 3 prompts. God, I hope Chelsea score. I don't want them to win because then they're going to be above Liverpool in the table. Actually, that's not true. I don't want them to score because then they're going to be above Liverpool in the table because I forgot about that stupid, brilliant goal from Reed, Harrison Reed. Kind of goal that makes you remember a player's name. Harrison Reed. Yeah, I should have never said good shit about windsurf. Because now it's fucking stuff up left and right. Just eating through my calls. Yes. Okay, just told me he needs to figure out. Okay, finally. It's actually making changes instead of just reading shit. Except all. Windsurf also has this nice ability to run the code that it tests, or maybe it's just more visible than Lovable. Lovable is just basically windsurfing it on the back end. Okay. Oh, that it said you are. It was saying he was done. All right. Chelsea, go. Don't go and score a goal. Please. Please. Please don't go and score a goal. My face would be really sad, 'cause we gave up an opportunity to take it up to the community. I don't know what even works there. Cole Palmer. Oh, that's a good ball to Delap. Gets in behind. Palmer. Enzo. Neto. Enzo. Palmer. Enzo. See, look, they're kind of tiki-taka, but they're playing direct in the middle. Oh, that was it for Palmer, and he kind of, I don't know if he wasn't expecting it or if he just missed it. I mean, he definitely missed it, but it was uncharacteristic. He's normally pretty deadly from those positions. I'm a little surprised to see that miss. Jeez. Okay. This supposedly did a lot of shit. Did not include match timeline. We still do not see substitutions. Okay. We get the info in the browser console, but we do not see it in the UI. For control JS, that is the log. For display, here is the log. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do a lot of this just myself, but I do want to get the right event. Oh, puts it in Enzo on the third time of asking. On the third time of asking, right after NBC displayed the Premier League graphic of the table. Are you fucking kidding me? Fucking Enzo Fernandez. The fucking goal. Jesus. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting what they do with that. The ball comes all the way across to Enzo. Well, comes across Delap, who missed it. The defender gets a touch on it to kind of nick it away from Enzo. Gets a second whack at it. And what's his face? Donnarumma saves it. Kind of, and then falls to Enzo again, who toe pokes it in. All while Windsurf eats my credits. It's a goddamn goal. To make this stupid thing smaller. Nope, I need to make it bigger. That's right. That's why I was trying to do the whole thing underneath here for... What a day. What a day. What? It's fucking wild. Fucking Premier League. See, this is why I need the league display component, because that actually has like a huge effect. So now Chelsea are above Liverpool, which makes it even more like what I've been bemoaning all of today for Chelsea is that they said that they need to get the season, quote unquote, back on track. They're fourth. And that's not because of their assistant manager just took over. If you're a manager, why the fuck would you want to even go there? You know, it's Blue Cove's like fourth manager in like 2 years or some ridiculous stat like that. 4 years, maybe, like that. I don't know. In the meanwhile, Windsurf just eats all my credits. All right, City. Why don't you guys pull something off too? Nope. Goal kick. That's a game. Yeah, when all games have completed though, it would be nice to have the league table just completely below, right there. Let's take out. No, sorry, Chelsea are still below Liverpool. I don't know what the fuck I was talking about, but Chelsea have an 11-point goal difference. 11 goal difference. All right, we're gonna stop the stream now.